Should we talk about a guy we haven't talked about in a while? In Mr. Chris D'Elia?
Sure should.
My pal Vinny Paulino used to play a game with Stuttering John, where he would say, drop the needle anywhere, and John's going to be making a goofy face.
Yep.
Drop the needle on any podcast of Chris D'Elia's, and this guy's going to be shitting on his wife somehow or another.
He's going to be really pissed that that's all he has left.
I haven't checked in on him in 3 months, and sure enough, I found him insulting his wife.
Yep. Women at the movies. That's our first clip here.
Listen, women be at the movies, baby. Just like they be shopping. Chris has a good bit about his dumb women watching movies.
Trying to watch a movie the other night. My wife, dude. What is it with
my wife? This bitch.
What is it with women like, hey, watch a movie with me instead of fucking 18-year-olds? What is it with these whores?
Right.
Say women, dude. How about this for generalization? Yeah, I know it's a generalization. I don't care. Okay. Dude, she talks during the dialogue parts.
Have you ever noticed this, folks? Why do women always yammer during the movies? I'm trying to Snapchat bitches.
He's trying to watch Oppenheimer, and he's explaining the science behind the bomb, and the wife's just crying like, I can't believe you talked to all those women behind my back. He's like, Jesus, shut up.
I'm texting high schoolers, and this lady's yapping. Who are these people?
A 25-minute action sequence, and she's just like, as soon as that action sequence ends and the guy comes up out of the rubble, right, and sees the girl that he's been trying to get for so long, and all the bad guys.
Is he scrolling through Instagram, Chris? I've heard that's a good spot.
That's what he calls Instagram, is rubble.
He'll start crying, and he'll walk up to her, and he'll go, and Kristen will be like, should we put plants over next to the fireplace? And you're like, hey,
what a selfish cunt that has turned a blind eye to all of your misdeeds, but still has the audacity. Hey, listen, she didn't make a peep while America was calling you a pedophile. For some reason, she opens her trap while a movie's playing.
I can't believe she would do something like that.
Hey, Kristen, maybe you should talk more when girls are yelling, I was raped.
By this man that you share a last name with.
Actually, now that I think about it, Chris is making a good point. There are times she should have spoken up. Like when one girl said, I was crying, and as he shoved his penis into my mouth, he said, just do everything I say and you'll be fine. Maybe that's when Kristen should talk, instead of when a movie is playing, God forbid.
Autobots were fighting. And I got to rewind. I said, what? We need to put our significant others either in the movie theater or, because God forbid, dude, I used to go out with this woman who had her dad.
Woman is an exaggeration.
I used to go watch the Harry Potter movies with some dates.
She just started getting her period, but she was not a woman, Chris.
And we would go see movies with her dad, and he breathed so loud, and I'd sit next to him, and I'm like, my God. It's just every
movie. Wait, hold on a second. Go back. Was perhaps her dad chaperoning? Did maybe legally her dad need to be there? Why was he there on this date?
He was their ride.
Listen, I know your dad's here. Just give me a hand job.
Just pretend like we're hugging.
Our significant others either in the movie theater or, because God forbid, dude, I used to go out with this woman who had her dad, and we would go see movies with her dad, and he breathed so loud, and I'd sit next to him, and I'm like, my God. It's just every movie, I thought it was Jurassic Park because it was always. I was like, oh, okay.
He was enraged that you were diddling his underage daughter.
I was just going to say, he's just human mad.
Motherfucker. I can't if I tell her she's not allowed to, then she'll rebel against me. Jesus Christ.
And T-Rex is in the background of this. We're watching a Hugh Grant movie. But yeah, dude. So that's when she talks. And it's so annoying. And women, stop doing this.
Oh, is he done?
Yep, that was a long pause.
I can never tell with him with the pauses.
I know. I know.
Now, listen, fellas, I get it. Don't think I'd be tripping with the ladies. They'd be annoying as hell. I get it.
Yeah.
But when you have a wife who has stood by you through thick and thin, through rape and pedophilia allegations, you would think that she would get some leeway. Like, hey, maybe every podcast I don't have to shit on this broad.
It's nothing worse than bringing someone to the movies that still wears Garanimals and her dad's getting in your way.
Oh, it's just the worst. I thought he was going to be out buying popcorn for us longer.
He's big into the Dune popcorn bucket.
He's just breathing heavy like this motherfucker. Write a punchline, Chris. And maybe you'll be an acceptable suitor for my daughter. The voices aren't funny. You're just changing your inflection.
I like the idea that he's getting mad at the dad for breathing and he's just pissed at him.
He's like, Theo Vaughn made the right choice. Why can't I have the guts that he did?
Next we have him talking about addiction, and it's probably not the one we're thinking.
It never is it, with Chris? Here, this is the thing, is like, the clips we play of Chris D'Elia are never so absurd. Like, that criticism of women in general is not so crazy that it deserves to be made fun of. The crazy part is that a man who was accused of pedophilia and has never once addressed it. He said, hey, you got me. I cheated on my girlfriend.
I love getting my dick wet, is what he says.
Yeah. And then has had the woman who stood by him on the podcast to reprimand her. Then when a documentary came out about him, he fled to rehab to again try and rebuild his image and still never addressed it. That's what's so odd to me about this guy having this stance on women.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing better than that once a year when he has his wife on for the Christmas episode.
Yes, the Christmas show. Yeah.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
It's always fun.
Lunatic addict, man. I'm such a lunatic. I got Royal Match, played it so hard. It's an app on my phone.
You are certainly a lunatic. That is an insane man's laugh. You're in a room alone, Chris.
Tupac's right over his shoulder.
For like a month, hardcore. I was playing it. I was ignoring responsibilities. I was doing stuff like not listening. I was kind of watching movies, but mostly playing Royal Match. Dude, I'd turn on worse movies just so I could.
Wait, so he's watching a movie, he's bitching about her talking, but he's not even paying attention?
That's the other thing I found odd, is like, you were just mad that she was. So you were mad that she was spoiling your video game. You're a father of two, Chris. Come on, I want to play video games. Shut up, Kristen.
There's dialogue. Shut it.
If you keep talking over my video games, I'm gonna kill myself.
If we don't get this,
we know you're not. We read the Rolling Stone article. We know you're not gonna kill yourself.
He's like, we need you to stop talking so I don't have to pause. We have to get you home by 11 or your dad's gonna be pissed.
Match, and so I didn't have to pay attention to it. And I was killing it. I got to level 2,000 in 1 month. I probably made, honestly, $800 of in-app purchases. So sue me. Dude, I made so many in-app. Do you make in-app purchases for games? That's the worst thing you could do. Did it. Don't care. Did it. Have my money.
Rebel. What a bad boy.
You know, and then I just stopped. But you know what? I guess I enjoyed it, right? John Lennon was the guy that said the thing, you're not wasting any time if you're enjoying it, or whatever the hell he said. I can't remember what he said. But it was something like
Good thing
that.
you quoted
it.
You
know what, dude? I always think of John Lennon when I start feeling shame or guilty about playing a video game. That's what I do.
Every time I'm perusing a middle school, I think of John Lennon. And I'm like, well, if you're not enjoying yourself,
I wish there was somebody that thought he was John Lennon.
That's when the FBI investigates Chris D'Elia. That's what he said. Hey, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. You know.
John Lennon is when I'm doing something like that, wasting time or playing video games, or if I eat too much ice cream. I go, man, John Lennon though, which is
or if I'm texting like 16-year-olds, I think John Lennon. Imagine. Imagine no consent laws. It's easy if you try.
I'm not even gonna say it. That was perfect.
For real. I couldn't. It's always something, dude. It's always something. Is it always something for you? Because it's always something for me. It's Royal Match. You know, for 10 years, it was sex.
He says such a hard time saying
it was sex.
It's always something, man. It's video games. It's junk food. It's cigarettes. It's 15-year-olds. It's other stuff.
Dang Lizard, €5. Wait, his wife talked during dialogue of Transformers movie and he wanted to get the plot. Remember someone explained Romeo and Juliet law in Transformers.
That's a great sketch about like sexism, just to have like if you had just had two different cutaways where one Kristen isn't saying anything while the world is calling Chris D'Elia a pedophile. And then she pipes up during a movie is like, should we move the plants over there? You bitch. I'm watching something.
Carl's
Anyways, back to Snapchat.
Carl's Frosted Tips $5. Mike, I'm trying to concentrate at camp while watching this, and frankly, I did not see this coming.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to bother you.
I think that was a concentration camp joke.
Yes. I don't remember what we were talking about that would have applied, but
me either.
Out that
but
it was
like,
oil.
Thanks for the money.
I like a little Holocaust humor. We need more of that.
Yes, we do.
Match for a month, and then after that, it's eating burgers late at night.
Sure, these are all equivalent things. Playing Royal Match on your phone, eating burgers, diddling 16-year-olds, whatever your vice is. Hey, as the great Brian Cox once said on Hard Knocks, you can't trust a man without a vice.
he's just. I think he dates them young. So take him out for dinner. It's just a happy meal. That's what he means.
All the vices he's listing are like children's activity: eating burgers, playing video games, getting hand jobs under the bleachers. You know,
putting money into an app without your parents' permission.
Yes, dude. He eats not one because we know one burger's a snack, so he eats two. But not only two, they're both double burgers, so technically that's 4 burgers. Yes, dude.
Yeah. By the way, hold on. Just go back a little bit.
He is the most annoying human that's ever existed.
We've lost track. This is no longer relevant to the conversation we're having about Chris D'Elia, but I had to sit through this, so I'm making all of you. So,
yeah, these clips aren't short.
So buckle up.
Match for a month, and then after that, it's eating burgers late at night. Yes, always feel like shit. Yes, dude. He eats not one because we know one burger's a snack, so he eats 2. But not only 2, they're both double burgers, so technically that's 4 burgers. Yes, dude. And he eats the fries too. Yes, and then he tops it off with some ice cream afterwards. Yes, dude. Why is he not a fat guy? You know, he works hard at the gym a lot, but why is he not a fat guy? Genetics. Thanks, mom and dad. Yes.
Oh my God.
He's and maybe he purposely framed his act this way. He is the perfect comedians for kids. Like, think about, you have kids, Craig, in every sense of the phrase.
His voice is the equivalent of jiggling keys in front of an infant.
Yes, that's exactly it. Where if you watch kids programming, like take the Baby Shark song, for example.
Oh my God.
Or whatever. It's just repetition and different cadences, different inflections.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what it takes to abduct a child, you know? And I think Chris has learned that. I'm not saying he's not skilled at what he loves.
Yeah.
Don't misquote me on that.
This is our last Dalia clip. It's just called "Wife Got Robbed."
Yeah. So his wife. Listen to how this man. And again, maybe it's a character and he's a different guy at home, but I just use the context of his wife's public support versus how this man portrays his wife. So his wife's cell phone was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how Chris responds on the podcast.
Now she's like, oh, why don't you make me feel okay? And I'm like, oh, shit. And then she's like, it's not my fault that it got robbed. And I'm like, wow, I mean,
that's insane.
I guess.
What, Craig? I think sometimes when women say things, it is kind of their fault.
she got robbed at gunpoint, and he's like, "What is your fault?"
I think often when women are the victim, I think there's some interesting messaging here going on with Chris. A woman is clearly a victim of a crime, but is she? I think that's very interesting psychologically. Chris's take on robbery here.
Believe no women. If you're not robbing youth, you're not being robbed.
Women are liars, no matter what it's about.
And now she's like, oh, why don't you make me feel okay? And I'm like, oh, shit. And then she's like, it's not my fault that it got robbed. And I'm like, wow, I mean, I guess, fellas know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Yeah. What was she wearing?
Exactly.
Was she responding to your text? Did she seem kind of like she wanted it, and then at the last minute seemed like she didn't? But that's still kind of consent. I'm sorry, we're talking about phones. I forgot.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, but also, it's kind of, my bag never got taken.
No, I was never molested.
The amount of times when my wife says, "Where's my phone?" versus the amount of times I've said, "Where's my phone?" She blows me out of the water.
Well, it sounds like women are kind of asking.
It's like,
it's not
Crook's fault, but
she asked for it.
It seems like those girls were texting me first. A couple of them said they were 18, so I don't understand. I told them I was with my family, and they didn't seem to mind at the time. So
this is a very thrilling podcast.
It's yeah, like it's tough doing a podcast by yourself, and but Chris D'Elia overcomes somehow.
Also, be vigilant. Hey, so it's like, it's just.
Like how she's like, I got robbed. They stole my bag. My phone was in. He's like, great. Now I got to buy you a new phone.
Oh, you bitch. Were you wearing a low-cut top when your phone was robbed? Did you act like you were a really big fan of the robber and go back to his hotel room? And think that pretty much is consent. What am I going to ask for an ID from the robber?
It'd be so funny is if she came and started crying and saying shit that he did to those women, but the robber did to her. He said if I didn't suck his dick, he was going to kill himself.
And Chris is like, it seems like a pretty good guy. Actually, seems like a pretty funny comedian. I'm going to be in Sarasota and March 8th. Just promoting his dates.
Yeah.
So good. See, Chris D'Elia learns every day. I think every day he shows us all his growth. He said he was a completely changed man when he came back, and I think every time we've checked in on him, we've learned that that's true. Definitely a guy mid-evolution.
More self-reflection with every time we look.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, doesn't blame others for his problems.
Oh.